Hey, what's up guys, Rod Facts here. Today I'll show you a science fiction film, Terraformars. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Terraformars were a race of humanoid insectoid creatures, whose origins were traced to Earth during the Mars terraforming project around 500 years ago. In the 21st century, overpopulation has become a problem that scientists begin preparing for the colonization of Mars. The first step scientists took in the terraforming of Mars that they turned to bring two types of organisms to Mars. One is algae that can improve the climate. The second is an algae-eating insect such as cockroaches. This great work has become the globalization renovation plan. Fast forward to 2597. Akita is often beaten by her father, while losing control. She used a knife to stab his father. Her boyfriend Komachi saw Akita commit murder. He hurried to drag her to run away. However, the two of them were quickly surrounded by police. During that critical moment, Dr. Honda suddenly appeared, and saved the two people. It turned out undergoing 500 years of re-examine the climate on Mars. It has been almost the same as the Earth. Therefore Dr. Honda hopes Komachi and Akita to do small surgery, then go to Mars to destroy the insect that was brought up earlier. If the two complete this quest, not only they can erase a crime, but also receive a generous remuneration. They both signed the contract in 2599. Space Shuttle 2 arrived on Mars. There are a total of 15 crew members on board, assembling of all kinds of people in society. There are even mass killers, and terrorists. They are all for money or reason they want to remove the crime, so they accept this task very quickly. The ship landed more surfaces covered with a layer of lush vegetation. After clearing all of the obstacles, the small groups began to go out for the quest. The crew quickly discovered a group of strange creatures that have a cockroach-like face. Everyone was frightened. There were a few people who rushed away. However, Komachi and Akita thought the creature was a Martian. They were planning to talk to them. A cockroach-faced monster quickly charged towards Akita, and crunched her neck. After that, it quickly disappeared. At the same time, another group also brought information about Moriki. A crew member was killed. Everyone quickly came to question the captain. The captain told everyone those monsters were the insects they had to destroy. It turns out 500 years ago, humans brought a cockroach to Mars under cosmic radiation in extreme environments. These cockroaches have begun to evolve gradually. They evolved into a Mars monsters. In appearance, Terraformars was large 2-meter-tall dark-skinned bipedal creatures, resembling human with a humanoid-style face, and antennae at the top of their heads. They had a sturdy, strong carapace, increased agility, and great level of strength, when compared to humans, allowing them to rip apart limbs with ease. Such was the extent of their strength that a simple swing from their arms was enough to decapitate humans or break their necks. It was estimated that they could travel 320 kilometers per hour from the first step, making their speed almost supreme. Similar to their cockroaches' origins, their brains were not located in their heads, but rather their subesophageal ganglion was situated in the chest. Suddenly a 3D image of Dr. Honda appeared, and informed everyone that the surgery everyone did before has incorporated insect DNA into the body. Now they just need to inject a drug into their body, and they will be able to activate a special kind of ability that is his whole idea, fighting fire with fire of Dr. Honda. After that, the captain gave out medicine for each person. At the same time, the monster reappeared. A person who once a terrorist on the first battlefield. His body was mixed with the DNA of an insect that can spit fire. After the transformation, he shoot with fire with his hand enough to kill a person. What surprised everyone even more is that the monster was completely unaffected by the flames. It easily killed him. Then the monster smashed the glass, and jumped inside the spacecraft. The captain immediately transformed into an ant, and took down the monster. However, so many monsters surrounded the ship. The crew's members decided to leave Mars. However, at that time the ship had a problem that could not take off. Then the captain gave an opinion that everyone moved to Space Shuttle number 1. It turns out 10 years ago the Japanese launched Space Shuttle number 1 to Mars. If that ship was not damaged, then they can use it to return to Earth. After that, the captain decided to stay as bait to prolong the time for the rest of them. A crew named Ichiro also chose to fight on the captain's side. Before departing, Komachi said goodbye to the dead body Akita. However, he found out a silk thread came from Akita's body floating in the air. At that time the captain, and Ichiro led the monster into the ship. They shut the train doors, and suck the air out of the spaceship. They want to bring those monsters down with them. On the other hand, Tezuka also transforms. He can blow out the fire with his ability. The car carrying everyone has successfully escaped. However, then they saw in distance, a raging wave coming. Turned out that wave was from countless monsters forming. Fortunately, thanks to Tezuka, they smoothly get through the first wave. However, the second wave very quickly appeared. The two girls in the group immediately injected the activation drug. The car rushed past the monster wave, and lost control. There are 3 people who were fighting were thrown out, and quickly destroyed by monsters. The vehicle has changed to the driverless mode, continued to bring those who are in coma to their destination. After reaching Space Shuttle number 1, the members was divided into 2 groups. The previous 2 were gangsters outside to defend Kakichi, and 2 more people entered the spacecraft. The mate starts the system, however they found out the ship was also damaged. It can only send one message to the Earth. When people are worried, then outside came gunfire. As it turns out, the monsters have learned to use guns. They use weapons on the Space Shuttle number 1 to kill 2 defenders outside. The other 3 people, who noticed that, immediately injected the activation drug. Mother he transformed into a grasshopper, the mate turned into a mantis, and Kamachi turned into a Japanese giant hornet. Their fighting power is amazing. They quickly defeat all the monster. Outside, on the other hand, Space Shuttle 2 suddenly regained its oxygen. The captain also gradually regained consciousness, realized in panic. A monster was removing its skin. It turns out, Moriki is not dead yet. She transformed herself into a wasp, and a stinger to control a monster. Moriki then kills the captain, squeezing. The water made each hero regain consciousness. Each hero carries mosquito DNA. So in the absence of oxygen, they did not die, just absorbing enough water, and he can recover to normal. Moriki and Ichiro's goal was the eggs of the monsters brought back to Earth for Dr. Honda. At the same time, the Kolkachi group heard the sound of the second space shuttle. When they were confused, a device automatically collected their combat data, and sent it back to Dr. Honda. It turns out, on Space Shuttle number 1 brought human to Mars. Although those people have all been destroyed, but they were brought back to Earth by a monster on a lifeboat. Dr. Honda has thus found the secret of combining DNA with human to create a monster creature. However, his intentions then was to get monster eggs, so he will find out that the secret of the evolution of the Martian monster, and create an army of powerful monster for Japanese government. Ichiro told Moriki about his life be a hacker. He wants to use his research to save others, however he was harmed by his superior. Not only took away his research, but also make him unemployed with his grudge. Ichiro risked his life to make money by completing the orders of Dr. Honda, but that moment, the egg suddenly moved, and it hatched 2 monsters. Moriki wants to control them, but turn out they has evolved one more step. Failure to control Moriki is killed by them. After that, the 2 monsters screamed loudly under their summons. All the remaining monsters spread their wings, and flew into the sky, causing the spaceship number 2 to fall. Kikuchi immediately reactivating the fighting DNA. Prepared to handle all the monsters. However, 3 people discovered the 2 boss monsters definitely faster, and stronger than them. Wink the mate was killed in order to win Mother. He and Kokichi increased the dosage of the activating drug. Thanks to that, they were able to continue fighting. Then the Mother he frantically injected more drug. He evolved to grow wings. Finally killed 1 boss. However, 2 badly injured. Mother he had fallen. Kamachi quick ran to cover his friend. But he was not an opponent of the other boss. When it was about to beat him, Akita thought that was transformed into a flying bright butterfly. Sprinkling chalk down the monsters. Prepared to risk her life with them. The monster did not understand what happened. They continuously opened fire into the sky. It made a huge explosion that killed everything at that time. Mother he also used the last of his strength, carrying Kamachi up to avoid the explosion. Kamachi miserably sees the one he loved falling into the fire. Finally Kamachi turned back into a human figure. Mother he, due to too much medication, has become a half-human half-insect form forever. Before dying, Mother he told Kamachi how much Akita loves him, and hopefully he can survive back to Earth. Some lucky monsters escaped the explosion. Kamachi knocked them to the ground, but he did not kill them on the spaceship. Ichiro was in a fake dead state, woken up immediately, met a monster. He was able to kill the monster. Then Kamachi get on board, but Ichiro saves Kamachi from monster. Komachi decided to return to Earth with each hero. On the other hand, all research by Dr. Honda was made public by Hiro. Dr. Honda's assistant, also a government spy, decided to kill Dr. Honda, and blaming all the responsibilities on him. However, she did not expect that Dr. Honda is no longer a normal human being anymore. He easily controlled the bullet, and kill her. On Mars, the boss monster is still alive, and decide to not chasing the space type number 2. Komachi and Ichiro finally favorably left Mars, and returned to Earth. This is Rod Facts channel. Peace out.